Hey there! Welcome to Apple World. Kimora Lee Simmons' house bursts into flames in the wake of getting down on PD. You understand what I'm talking about, so I'm similar to damn you realize no one understands what occurred, or that's what anything like yet it's in the news that you realize her home had burst into flames. What I'm talking about, I don't no one realize you understand what I'm talking about. Yet I accept she talked on Diddy. You know I'm somewhat personal, however I get that way, so do my child. Dren's so heartbroken about that, yet on the off chance that you focus on when this claim was sent off, it's presumably similar quite a while back. You'll see that that is the point at which these assaults began coming from my ex. You'll see that that is when a ton of a blast of poo began coming once again here to us. So it looks like Kimora Lee Simmons is finished keeping her mouth shut with regards to Diddy and his tricks, since she just called them out for being an antagonist and attempting to live her and her children. You all expertise. Kimora's home as of late burst into flames. Right, well, she is presently supposedly considering Day capable and uncovering him for a few additional madly dull privileged insights about him that we never at any point knew. Listen, Kimora came ready and she hauled him for a rottenness. You folks know how much my family means to me, and you know how much my children mean to me. Furthermore, you folks know, every one of you that realize me totally understand what sort of mother I am and what sort of relational peculiarity I have here. Diddy ain't never beaten these charges against him. Cuz listen, the roads are currently saying that he purportedly attempted to take Kimora Lee Simmons out in light of the fact that she stood up against him after Cassie failed her claim. Listen, he ain't playing around either, and individuals are beginning to accept probably the most insane reports about him now. For those of you who don't know, Kimora Lee and Diddy's ex and child mother Kim Watchman were awesome companions when Kim was alive. They turned out to be excellent companions during the 90s. What's more, they stayed tight until Kim died in 2018. Kimora has still stayed an excellent companion to Kim even after her passing, since she is still extremely dynamic in the existence of Kim's children, and she has played a mother job in the existences of her twin young ladies, Jessie and Delilah, and has assisted with raising these young ladies now the way that Kimora and Kim were dearest companions since the 90s. Implies that Kimora was there firsthand to see the things that Diddy supposedly put him through. And tune in, there were a ton of things that Diddy purportedly did to Kim. He has been claimed to have messed up Kim a ton of the time, and from the report, Kim had it similarly, as on the grounds that from these reports on the web, Diddy did precisely the same thing to Kim, yet he had the option to pull off it on the grounds that Kim never uncovered him or stood up against it freely. However, assuming there's one individual who will realize all the Kimora, and that makes sense of why Diddy would purportedly need to take her out once she began implying that she could uncover him. Casey's claim discussed the way in which Diddy would put hands on her, and she said that throughout the following 10 years, on various occasions, every year, Mr. Combs would beat Miss Venture, leaving BR on her body after each occurrence in which he beat Miss Venture. Mr. Combs utilized his cash and ability to coordinate broad endeavors to conceal the proof of his, including by concealing Miss Venture in lodgings for quite a long time at a time to let her his heel. The claim likewise proceeded to list a few occurrences of Diddy placing hands on her Maxim in 2015. Miss Venture addressed a well-known music director at an all-nighter in a lodging suite in Las Vegas. Mr. Combs saw her addressing the supervisor and harshly advised her to step into the room bordering the suite. In the room, Mr. Brushes beat Miss Venture seriously. She ran from the corner to corner of the room, attempting to stay away from Mr. Combs and kicking. When she attempted to secure herself in the washroom, he pushed through and punched and kicked her while she nestled into the latrine. Her shouts were muffled by the noisy music playing in the external region of the lodging suite. She likewise discussed another occasion, saying that in January 2009, after Mr. Combs discovered that Miss Venture addressed another music supervisor at a standard part in Los Angeles, he became maddened. She had trusted that addressing this director would permit her to additionally develop her vocation, and that Mr. Combs would be glad for her. However, he ended up being very irate and hauled her out of the club where the party was occurring. She went on in the vehicle, leaving the club. Mr. Combs beat Miss Venture, driving her into the edge of the vehicle and puzzling all over. Mr. Combs' safety faculty member Roger Bonds attempted to stop but couldn't de-escalate the circumstance. When the vehicle showed up at Mr. Cola's home, Miss Venture endeavored to take off. Yet Mr. Combs followed her and continued to again kick her in the face. Miss Venture was bountifully and was guided into Mr. Cole's home, where she started to hurl from the well, it just so happens. He was additionally putting hands on Kim that emphatically, and he frequently left her with wounds too. There was an occurrence that occurred in 2015 that was accounted for vigorously in the media, with reports saying that Diddy had beaten Kim so hard that he had broken her nose. This was wherever at that point yet. For reasons unknown, news sources quit detailing out of nowhere cap. Considerably more reports of the occurrence have been thoroughly scoured from most sites. And it's like it never happened. That simply goes to show you how long Diddy's cash is, and the way in which far his impact comes to. Yet I figured out how to find this one site that didn't get compensated off by Diddy, and the story is still up. They composed Diddy Comes Better. Half Kim Doorman was left with a messed up nose after the couple contended on Combs' yacht in a sandrope. Combs flew in an expert plastic specialist from Geneva after the mishap. Watchman has since guaranteed that she hurt her face after she slammed her nose against a table. This story was not math at all, since how would you hit your nose against a table so hard that you break it? No scratch that. How would you even bang your nose on a table to begin with? Now the way in which tall was this table being referred to? And there are only a ton of things that aren't accumulating here yet. Hang on the grounds that I'm going to separate it and make it check out. See at the top. The battle happened. Diddy and Kim were on a break from their relationship, and Kim had begun a sentiment with a man named Shakir Stewart. Well, you all expertise Diddy gets when his ladies attempt to continue on from him, and he was unable to stand an idea of Kim being with another man despite the fact that they were presently not together, and he purportedly put hands on Kim once more and broke her nose. The most insane piece of this is on the grounds that half a month after this, Shakir was found dead with shot injuries, and it was controlled as self-caused wounds, assuming you get what I'm attempting to say, and the examination was shut after around 2 seconds. Yet that is not even the insane EST part, on the grounds that, as per a mysterious report, Diddy had gone to compromise Shakir not some time before he elapsed, and he turned out to be Shakir. The insider detailed that Kim was seeing Shakir, and did he find out, and he went silly. He found Shakir to his inn, then Diddy went up there without security and led him to a horrendous mash. Don't let the sparkling suits and twists fool you. Diddy wolf a man up. Well, thinking back, many individuals are presently persuaded that it's anything but an occurrence that Shakir passed so not long after that, and they are currently contemplating whether Diddy might have purportedly had something to do with it. Presently, I won't say that he made it happen. I'm not saying that he didn't do it either, however, and I'm surrendering that to you all to come up to your very own decisions. Simply realize I spread it out there on the table for you. Yet doesn't this sound exceptionally natural to something that happened with Cassie and her claim about how she was unable to meet with other men since Diddy got desirous, and that she felt trapped in the relationship? She discussed how he would continuously drive her once again to him, each time she attempted to leave and take off from him, and he would wipe out his group on her. She said Miss Venture left her home in Compton and went to stow away at a companion's home in Florida. James Cruz, leader of Terrible Kid, the executives followed Miss Venture down and told her that her single wouldn't be delivered on the off chance that she didn't answer Mr. Cole's calls. A lady who worked at Sony Music contacted her with a comparable final proposal concerning her record stagingly missed. Combs even persuaded one regarding his lawyers to call Miss Venture. At the time, the legal advisor told Miss Venture that it's to your greatest advantage to get back to Mr. Combs. Each time Miss Venture attempted to take off Mr. Combs, and his strong organization would drive her once again to him, and when she attempted to leave him, he got desirous to the place where he attempted to unalive youngster Q, purportedly, as per the records in 2011, during a difficult situation of Mr. Combs and Miss Venture's relationship. Miss Venture had a concise relationship with performer Key. Mr. Combs found Miss Venture's telephone and found messages among them, and Key, Mr. Combs, became maddened and continued to put a manual wine tool between his fingers.